So I thought tonight we would do a little bit of a walk around the unit. We've only just moved into this unit, so it's a little bit messy, but I wanted to take you through a few of the cars that we have in here. There's a couple of projects upcoming that I won't give too much information on, but we'll talk about some of the cars. So the first car we have is my 1963 MG 1100 Mark 1. The MG 1100 came out in October 62. This is a March 63 car, so it's one of the oldest surviving MG 1100s. It's an incredibly long-term project, which is why it's underneath the mezzanine, out the way. On top we have panels, wings, doors, bonnets, front end off an MG 1300, rather a lot of bumpers. I really need to sort through those. Next to that is a magenta kit car. This was bought for spares for my other two magentas, which I will show you in a couple of minutes, but that's going to go for sale as soon as we've built the other magenta. Below the magenta is my 1968 Van den Plas 1300 manual. It's in Sherwood green with a cream interior. It's a colour scheme that I've always loved. When it came for sale, I had to buy it. This one was up and driving and running, but it's got some rust issues on the front driver's floor pan that we'll come on to in another episode. Last on the road in 1995, unfortunately, it was in a fire, which has damaged the paintwork. But apart from that, it's actually pretty good. Next to it is my MG 1300 two-door. This is a project that I've always wanted to do. It's an incredibly rare car. With only a handful being made. This one's being stripped, as you can see, and it's incredibly rust free. Somebody's converted it to a Mark 1 rear wing, which I really like because it looks a bit like the the Austin Americas that was sold in America. The plan is to make into a bit of a race inspired 1100. Next to that is a load of rubbish, and my brother's MG 1300 two-door, which is waiting for me to paint. It's next on my list. In front of the MG is my magenta kit car. This particular magenta was built by the Midland main agents at Hillview Garage. Hillview Garage is actually still there. The gentleman that built it, his son runs the garage. I bought this last year off the previous owner who had it 25 years. I'll probably do a video on this actually. When we get it up on the lift, you can have a look underneath what it looks like. Runs a 1300 GT engine and is pretty scary when at speed. So that is my now scrap Mondeo estate. This is the first one that I bought and is the worst. We've decided to start to break this, hence some of the bits have been taken off it. My brother was here earlier today taking bits and pieces off, and I'm going to continue this afternoon. Next to the Mondeo is another magenta kit car. This one's upside down because we're doing some work to the chassis and also doing some fiberglass repairs on the floor. So if I move some of the Mondeo bits out of the way, because it's now being used as a shelf, we can see we've repaired the tub a little bit there, just where it had cracked, and there on the front. Now this is done, we'll flip it back over and paint it. Obviously, shelves and shelves full of spares because I am a prolific hoarder, as you will soon find out. As we can see, my brother's also been busy around the front end, and again I'm going to continue with this in a little while, and that will form another video. This is the front end of the magenta kit car. The air filter on the bonnet is not fitted, it's just there because it needs to go onto my Ford KA, which is currently at home. In the corner we have our engine room. Yep, plenty of engines, more spares, bits and pieces. The engines are a mixture of SPI and MPI mini engines, as well as a 1300 automatic and 1000cc mini. There's some more engines at home that are not here. We'll go back over the lift. It's a bit snug at the moment. There's one too many cars in here. Behind it is my 1971 Austin 1100 two-door, affectionately known as a shed. we've actually owned this car now 3 times. We bought it 10 years ago from Preston. I put it back on the road in matte black, sold it to a gentleman in London who then painted it a horrible bronze colour. We then changed the colour to black tulip, which is what it is now, and promptly sold it before I bought it back. This was going to be a fairly major project on the channel, and it's actually been on YouTube before. So I'll post a link to that in a minute. In the corner we've got my brother's 1986 Mini Park Lane. Next to it is a 1983 Mini Mayfair. And then over here we have our Mini Clubman Estate, which again, full of spares and bits and pieces. Surprisingly rust-free again. It's on the list to be painted, along with the magenta and the 2 MGs and also the shed. So that's really my unit and what's in here at the moment. There's a number of cars elsewhere that are not here that I will introduce over the coming weeks. And the plan is to do videos on each one and have content based on each vehicle. So I won't give too much away about what we will do to each one, but every single one in here will be restored at some point in the next 100 years maybe.